According to Carl Jung's psychological insights, these 8 indicators will assist in recognizing individuals who harbor hidden animosity towards you. May wish to observe your shortcomings. One indication is their consistent lack of support for your achievements. When an individual truly values your presence, they commemorate your achievements with a fervor akin to their own, demonstrating enthusiasm, inquiring thoughtfully, and conveying sincere joy for your accomplishments. Nevertheless, individuals who harbor concealed animosity towards you often struggle to express authentic happiness for your successes. Observe these telling responses, swiftly shifting the focus following your positive announcement, offering tepid congratulations before progressing onward, or entirely minimizing your achievement with remarks such as, "Oh, that's something anyone could have accomplished," or "You merely experienced a fortunate occurrence." Jung noted that this behavior arises from profound feelings of envy. Your accomplishments evoke their insecurities, rendering it difficult for them to recognize your successes. They may be concerned that your achievements somehow undermine their own status or bring attention to their perceived shortcomings. It is essential to recognize that authentic support includes both the journey of your development and the outcomes achieved. It is evident that they deliberately make efforts to marginalize your presence. Intentional exclusion unveils profound negative emotions. When an individual harbors a concealed aversion towards you, they orchestrate circumstances that result in your exclusion from events, discussions, or assemblies in which you would typically participate. Such occurrences seldom arise by mere chance. One may observe acquaintances unexpectedly arranging activities without prior notification, despite one's usual inclusion in the collective. It is also possible that dialogues shift abruptly upon one's entrance, implying that the subject matter was of a nature they prefer to keep concealed. Jung acknowledged exclusion as a significant manifestation of social rejection. When an individual intentionally excludes you, they convey a distinct message regarding your worth, all while preserving plausible deniability through justifications such as, "I assumed someone else had invited you," or "It was merely a last-minute decision." The pattern of this behavior is particularly illuminating. It is not uncommon for individuals to inadvertently overlook the inclusion of others. However, when a particular individual repeatedly neglects to acknowledge your presence, it suggests a deliberate choice rather than mere oversight. Individuals of this type engage in rivalry with you across all aspects, although a certain degree of competition can serve as a source of motivation. It is essential to distinguish between amicable rivalry and an individual who transforms every interaction into a contest due to underlying feelings of resentment. Jung posited that an overabundance of competitiveness often conceals profound insecurities and animosities. When an individual engages in competition with you across a wide array of domains, from professional accomplishments to personal achievements, social media interactions, or even inconsequential issues such as parking spaces, they are disclosing an intrinsic desire to establish their own superiority. This behavior emerges when discussions invariably transform into chances for them to surpass your experiences. For instance, if you share a vacation anecdote, they promptly counter with elaborate accounts of their own more extravagant journey. When you bring up a challenge, they swiftly interject with a more significant issue they have triumphed over. They seem unable to permit you even a fleeting moment in the limelight. This arises from their view of you as a potential adversary rather than an ally. Each accomplishment or admirable trait you hold seems to overshadow others, fostering an unacknowledged compulsion to perpetually assert superiority, indications that they emulate your actions solely to surpass you. Although imitation may carry a sense of flattery, it is essential to recognize the difference between drawing inspiration from someone and deliberately replicating their work with the intent to surpass or displace them. This conduct unveils profound animosity and jealousy. One may observe that this individual begins to emulate your interests, stylistic preferences, or verbal expressions soon after your initial introduction. Instead of recognizing your impact, they portray these aspects as if they were their own inception, frequently asserting a greater authenticity or proficiency in your domain. For instance, following your introduction of a new hobby, they abruptly immerse themselves in the same pursuit, often equipped with costly tools or networks unavailable to you. Alternatively, they may echo your distinctive viewpoints to others, presenting them as their original insights, subtly implying that they can surpass your capabilities. Jung posits that this arises from a nuanced interplay of jealousy and a lack of confidence in one's identity, manifested through the appropriation of what distinguishes or elevates an individual. They seek to appropriate those attributes while undermining your individuality. Be vigilant if they exhibit a dismissive attitude towards the very elements they have appropriated from you, particularly in light of your ongoing success in those domains. This paradoxical conduct of imitating you while concurrently undermining the value of what has been appropriated distinctly indicates the presence of deeper negative sentiments. When individuals frequently interrupt or speak over you, it signifies underlying communication patterns that can unveil their genuine emotions. When an individual persistently interrupts you, speaks over you, or disregards your contributions, they're exhibiting a profound absence of respect that frequently suggests underlying negative attitudes. Jung acknowledged that our modes of communication reveal underlying attitudes we hold towards others. A person who holds you in high regard will intentionally create an environment for your expression, attentively consider your viewpoints, and interact thoughtfully with your concepts, even amidst differing opinions. Conversely, an individual who harbors animosity will struggle to extend this fundamental courtesy. They may interrupt you abruptly, steering discussions away from the subjects you bring up, or displaying clear disinterest while you are speaking. Even more telling is their response when confronted about this behavior. An individual who holds you in esteem is likely to express remorse and seek to enhance their conduct, whereas one harboring adverse sentiments may react defensively, reject accountability for their actions, or even attribute the issue to your perceived lack of engagement. Jung would interpret this as an implicit endeavor to assert dominance and manipulate the narrative. By interrupting, they are effectively conveying that your thoughts and perspectives hold less significance than their own, or perhaps are deemed entirely inconsequential. Sign 6. They reference your past mistakes. All individuals err, yet a notable distinction exists between sporadically invoking pertinent historical occurrences and meticulously preserving a comprehensive record of one's shortcomings to be cited at opportune times. Jung recognized that our inclination to concentrate on the errors of others frequently unveils deeper insights into our own psychological condition. When an individual persistently references your past mistakes or moments of embarrassment, they are indicating a preference to characterize you by your least favorable experiences rather than acknowledging your development. One may observe that they possess an extraordinary recollection of your past missteps, while conveniently overlooking their own analogous shortcomings. These recollections may be presented frequently in the presence of others or during instances when one is experiencing a sense of assurance. The significance of this lies in the surrounding circumstances and the moment at which it occurs. An individual who holds your best interests at heart may choose to address previous missteps in a private, compassionate, and constructive manner. Conversely, a person with lingering negative sentiments is likely to raise these issues in public forums, where you are unable to adequately respond, often during unrelated conversations, moments of celebration, or with embellishments that amplify the severity of the situation. Jung posits that such behavior frequently arises from a reluctance to confront one's own flaws. By maintaining a focus on your errors, they evade the necessity of addressing their own shortcomings, all the while eroding your self-assurance. When they deride your passions or aspirations are passions, and aspirations embody the essence of our most exposed identities. By sharing these elements, We provide a glimpse into the sources of our joy and the values we hold dear. The response of an individual to these disclosures profoundly reveals their genuine sentiments regarding you. Jung discerned that diminishing another's profound passions seldom pertains to those aspirations. It concerns the reduction of the visionary. When an individual persistently ridicules or diminishes that which holds significance for you, they're disclosing a profound disregard for your inner landscape. One may observe individuals employing sardonic remarks regarding your passions, utilizing condescending phrases such as, "that's merely a pastime," or "you're not being pragmatic," or perhaps discreetly exhibiting eye-rolling when you convey your excitement. Criticism may be presented under the guise of practicality or as a means to spare one from disappointment. However, such justifications seldom align with the underlying tone. The selective nature of this behavior serves to highlight its true implications. An individual who truly demonstrates care may, at times, articulate apprehensions regarding particular elements of your intentions, all the while endorsing your overarching trajectory and honoring your independence. This conduct frequently arises from their own unmet aspirations or apprehensions of being surpassed. Through the suppression of your fervor, they construct an environment in which the pursuit of aspirations appears futile, thereby rationalizing their own hesitance to embrace uncertainty. Sign 8 indicates that they appropriate your ideas or efforts. The ultimate indication is a propensity to assert ownership over your contributions, ideas, or achievements. This conduct demonstrates a reluctance to recognize your worth and potential. Jung noted that our capacity to acknowledge the contributions of others is indicative of our genuine disposition towards them. A person who holds you in esteem will inherently strive to provide you with the acknowledgement you deserve, even when such actions yield no immediate advantage for themselves. Conversely, an individual harboring covert animosity may persistently assert authorship of your ideas, presenting your contributions as their own, or deftly alter the narrative to diminish your involvement in successful endeavors. One may observe the utilization of expressions such as I was mentioning previously, following the introduction of a concept, or the use of "we" when referring to a project that one has predominantly executed independently. Additionally, there may be a tendency to reiterate one's contributions without proper recognition. This intentionally diminishes your standing and reputation. By methodically appropriating credit for your contributions, both intellectual and practical, they enhance their own status at your direct expense. A zero-sum approach that unveils deep-seated underlying resentment. It is essential to recognize that discerning these indicators does not stem from a place of paranoia or a predisposition to assume the worst in others. Rather, it is an exercise in valuing your own experiences and intuition, particularly when an individual's behavior repeatedly reflects a deficiency in respect, support, or goodwill towards you. I appreciate your engagement with this video. If you found this information beneficial, kindly consider liking and subscribing for additional insights into the complexities of human behavior and the cultivation of healthier relationships. We invite you to contribute your reflections and insights in the comment section below. Furthermore, it is essential to acknowledge that you are worthy of connections characterized by authentic support and mutual respect.